Good morning! I've been wanting to make this video for a while because I am a total coffee addict. I love coffee, and I have in the past had quite a few people when I'm talking to them about like starting a healthy lifestyle or just adding proper nutrition and exercise into their day-to-day. Some people will tell me like I'm really trying to cut out coffee, and for me I'm like, why would you want to do that? You don't want to cut out coffee. Coffee's amazing. And so there's nothing wrong with drinking coffee, but there's definitely some ways that you can save yourself money, because buying a coffee from Dutch Bros or from Starbucks every day is insanely expensive over time. And trust me, I used to do that too. And B, doing that is not going to help you to get closer to your fitness goals, especially if you're getting like the really good stuff like the pumpkin spice lattes and the sugary stuff, or even the sugar alternatives, even the sugar-free stuff. I don't really suggest sugar alternatives. I think that they can really help make you go farther away from your goals. So I have 6 different options for you. And so if you can't find something off of this list of 6 things that's going to work for you and help you to not only enjoy your morning coffee, but to get to your fitness goals as well, like I don't know what else to tell you. So these are my 6 best tips for you. And I've tried all of these and I love all of them. So number 1, we like to use lactose-free whole milk sometimes. This is what Sebastian has for like his milk. So you can use this in your coffee. I suggest making sure that your lactose-free milk is organic, and if at all possible, try to find a grass-fed organic milk source. It's gonna have better fat content in it. Not all fats are made the same, just like not all carbs are made the same, and anything that's from a grass-fed source is going to have better for you fats than something that is not organic and not grass-fed. So you can try finding a lactose-free organic, or try and find a grass-fed organic milk. And honestly, it's okay to use whole milk. Fats are good for you. You just have to make sure you're using them in moderation. I would so much rather somebody use this than horrible coffee creamers that don't have any dairy in them in the first place, and they're just full of chemicals and full of oils themselves, and not good for you oils, and full of sugars. If you need something, use this. Now, this is a grass-fed brand. You can find this at like Sprouts or another health food store. I love this brand. It's Kelowna brand. You can find milk, like whole milk, or I have half and half here. Honestly, I think the whole milk makes a better cup of coffee than this half and half. I just tried this one. It's not creamy enough. So if you need something really creamy, try whole milk or try this half and half. This is a grass-fed brand. Like I said, the grass-fed, the fats in it are going to be a better for you fat than the fats that you're gonna see in like a coffee creamer. Second, for those of you who absolutely can't have dairy, or you really don't drink dairy, you're following like a paleo diet, which I think is great. I think it's actually better to go non-dairy than if you are gonna choose dairy personally. So those 2 options would be like for somebody who absolutely has to have a very creamy coffee. Try getting some kind of almond milk or coconut milk. I don't suggest soy at all, never ever soy. And the reason for that is because soy inside your body can act like an estrogen. So it can bind to certain receptors in your body like an estrogen would. So it can really mess with your hormones. So stay away from soy always. And try an almond milk. If at all possible, teach your body and teach your taste buds to like an unsweetened version. And if at all possible, find one that doesn't have the carrageenan. I think a lot of companies that make almond milk and coconut milk are really switching over, and they're really listening to their customers and taking out a lot of the additives in these things. So if you can find something that doesn't have the carrageenan in it, or doesn't have the titanium dioxide in it, choose that option. And also, if you like, I really suggest trying an unsweetened version, just to give yourself that kind of creaminess. This isn't going to be as creamy as the milk, unfortunately, though. This option is going to be very creamy and good. This is called Bulletproof Coffee. You need a blender for this one, or like a magic bullet blender. But this option makes it tastes like a latte. It's so like frothy and creamy and good. But you want to make sure that you don't overdo it with this option. Thanks, Mickey. I'm kind of feeling better. I'm getting there. So what you do is you take 1 tablespoon or teaspoon, figure out what you like best, of coconut oil, and then 1 tablespoon or teaspoon of this butter. I suggest this specific brand right here. This is Kerrygold butter. The reason why I suggest it, because again, it's a grass-fed source. Grass-fed, anything is gonna have better fat content in it. It's gonna have better for you fats. So a teaspoon or a tablespoon of each of these, and then you put it in the blender with your coffee, hot coffee, and it's going to blend up and make like a frothy latte. It's amazing. Good morning, guys. Thank you for hopping on. Next, this is probably the most nutritious one, is Shakeology. They just came out with cafe latte, so it tastes like a frappuccino that you would get at like the, you know, like the ones at the gas station that are ices, and you like open up the thing and you pour it out and it's like a frappuccino icy. This is exactly what that tastes like, only this is full of superfoods as well. It has probiotics, prebiotics for anybody who has digestive issues. I've had people like who've had their lives completely changed by it. Totally full of superfoods, no artificial ingredients, no soy, and it's a good source of protein as well. None of these other ones have protein in them. This has a bunch of protein, so it's gonna help you to stay fuller longer. It's gonna help you with your energy levels, and it's gonna help you to have more mental clarity. For me at least, like it really helps me to release that brain fog. Plus this option, yes, it is the more expensive option, but if you're buying Starbucks or Dutch Bros already every single day and you're tipping your people, this is gonna save you money right here. So if you want details on how to get this, just send me a message. That one's been a game changer for me. And then this is another one, coconut cream, canned coconut milk. I personally like this brand because it doesn't have any additive preservatives and no gar gum. This gar gum, a lot of people have allergies to that. So this one, let me check really quick. Unsweetened, no preservatives, gluten-free, vegan, and a product of the Philippines, and a BPA-free liner. So there's no BPAs in the liner of the can. This is a great one. Also with this option, you probably want to blend it. You don't have to blend it like you have to with the Bulletproof Coffee, but this is a really good creamy option as well. This, again, like with this option and with the coconut oil and the butter, you don't want to overdo it because it's easy to overdo the fats on these. And then let me talk about sugars really quick. The best sugar for you, according to like the glycemic index, is coconut palm sugar. You can find it at Target, you can find it at like any health food store, coconut palm sugar. And this is gonna give you the lowest like spike in your insulin. I think a lot of times we're taught that like agave nectar and things like that are supposed to be better for us, but actually I believe agave has like the biggest insulin spike that you can possibly get out of any other sugars, and I think that even includes white sugars. This is the best sugar for you if you have to have something sweet. Again, this is coconut palm sugar. You can find it at pretty much any like health food store or even Target. And then Sarah's asking if it's really expensive. No, it's not super expensive. I mean, it's like $5 for a package about this big. So, you know, you're not gonna be making like a bunch of recipes that use like a whole cup of sugar, but this is a great alternative if you have to have something sweet in your coffee. And then lastly, my last tip is if none of these options work for you and you just cannot seem to find something that you like in your coffee and you can't get rid of that coffee creamer addiction, well, number one, I want you to think of it like this. When you see that Walmart carries it too, Amanda says she must be talking about the coconut palm sugar. Number one, I want you, when you see that coffee creamer, I want you to look at the ingredients list. And if there is this long list of ingredients that you can't pronounce, I want you to think in your head chemical shitstorm and what that does to your body. I know for myself, when I was really addicted to all the fancy creamers, and I loved them because I love my coffee in the mornings, I noticed that I was getting more tired from them. And I think that's because of all of the artificial ingredients in them. I think it's because it was really hard on my body, and my body just kind of started shutting down because it had to deal with the chemicals and the toxins that I was putting in my body because of the creamers. What do I think about silk vanilla coconut milk? I think that's great. Like I said about the non-dairy the non-dairy creamers like coconut milk or almond milk. I said earlier in the video I don't suggest soy. Stay away from soy. I think these are great. I suggest finding one that's unsweetened, if at all possible, just because it's going to help you to regulate your blood sugars better, and it's going to help you to not have, like, ride the wave of your blood sugars going up and down, because that's a reason why a lot of us struggle with cravings for sugar. Number one, it's going to help you to stop those cravings for sugar, and number two, it's going to help you to not be so hungry all day long, because we are constantly riding that insulin sugar wave. And lastly, I was gonna say that one thing that you can really teach yourself to do if you really want to get in shape and you really want to kick the creamer habit is trying black coffee. And if you really want to get serious about it, you can try making an iced brew, cold brew. And so what you do is you just put coffee grinds into a French press, if you have a French press, and then some water, and put it in your fridge overnight. It's gonna take away a lot of the bitterness of the coffee. It's gonna make it easier for you to learn to like black coffee, and then from there, I'm sure you can learn to like black coffee. I think for a lot of us, the reason why we love coffee so much is the habit and like the morning ritual and the taste. So learning to like black coffee can be kind of difficult, but that's an easier way to do that. So those are all of them. I got a lot. Again, if you want more information on the Shakeology, just send me a message, because that was a total game changer for me. I've been drinking that for my morning coffee lately instead of these other things, and by doing that, it's definitely going to help me to get better, or like get closer to my fitness goals, because a lot of these are high in fats and Shakeology is not, and it's higher in protein. And I always say you want to make sure you have a jam-packed protein breakfast. So those are my tips for you guys. I hope those helped. If there is any questions or anything, just send me a message. I'm happy to help. And let me know what you guys think about some of these alternatives. I would love to hear what you guys find to be the best one for you, or if you have some other suggestions that I didn't give you today. So that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for hopping on, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.